Is it possible to actually be really fulfilled? So this question has been inspired by two encounters I had this week. One was a person who was like, I don't even think that's possible. I think you're just a weird person if you say that you're fulfilled, Astrid. And it really made me think, because I'm like, wow, maybe I'm lying to myself, right? The second thing was in a discussion round where we were asked, if you wouldn't have to get paid for what you're doing, what would you change in your life? And my shocking answer was nothing. First I thought maybe I would stop charging, but then I'm like, you know what? No, we shouldn't stop charging, because if we don't charge people, they will never put these topics that we're working on the top of their priority list. So that would be really dumb. And so I was like, really, like, wow, even bookkeeping, I don't know, I wouldn't even move out of my apartment, I don't know. It just kind of shook me that I wouldn't change much. So by definition, I should probably say that I'm really fulfilled. And I'm like, ooh, really, yeah, so I really began to think about it. I have all these emotions, I used to be this super ultra emotional kid. I was very creative at the time, I remember how I was composing a lot of music pieces. I was writing a lot of not books, but like stories, really, really long stories. I was learning to sew my own fashion and kind of like put it all together. And I don't know, I had this exciting inner life going on. And it's kind of interesting that I felt like this decreased a lot, maybe because, once you're growing up, reality hits and you're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't become an artist and all these things. But the one thing that I'm realizing is I always had this thing that I would stay course, and maybe because I was so emotional and struggled so much to be in a place where I would not be fulfilled, I kind of like always, chose that particular area. And feel free to Google me on LinkedIn, you'll get my whole, job, career, blah, blah, blah. But most importantly, I think my biggest fear was always to not stay true to myself and to start putting on big masks, which probably I still am in some way, but hey, at least I'm trying not to. So making a long story short, when there's this question like, hey, how do you be fulfilled and what's the secret? I guess, being that big dreamer somehow has really helped me personally. Maybe having realized that, what made me think was, yes, I was always fulfilled, but was I always happy? And actually the answer is definitely not. So, I was always stressed. I was always close to a burnout, I guess. Most of the people would be like, Astrid, can you finally relax and calm down? And they're still saying that, by the way. But it was interesting because I was so many times standing in my fear. I always have this image that I'm standing like this and I'm literally burning because I was always so full of fear. And I find that pretty hilarious nowadays, right? Because I'm realizing these days that this probably was one of the biggest things of how I ended up being so fulfilled. And what do I mean by that? I think over the years I've realized that the number one thing that gives you fulfillment is go into the edge of your comfort zone, stepping out of there, because you believe, you just trust or you hope that there's something better. And whether or not you fail, the thing that makes you fulfilled is actually just the pure act of overcoming this, just like the act of courage. Because interestingly, if you succeed, hey, do be fulfilled, like, hey, great. Didn't happen too often to me, but hey. But if you don't succeed, what is so interesting is as long as you manage to turn that experience into something of which you say, wow, okay, it didn't work, but these are the insights that I've gotten and I would actually do it again, fulfillment still happens. So this for me is the final point. The outcome doesn't matter if your goal is to just have a higher level of fulfillment. what matters is that you actually dare to do it, that you look your fear into the eye and say, you know what, I love you and I'm gonna do it despite of you being here. So yeah, for me that was one of the strongest insights I've gotten over the last years. Maybe it's obvious to you, to me it's massive, and yeah, and maybe if you're also one of those people who kind of knows, here's the step that I want to be taking, but you're struggling about the how, you are confused around the consequences this might have, and you are not exactly sure as to why it is that you should be taking these steps, so your brain hasn't gotten complete clarity about the purpose of all of this, dare to contact us for a coffee chat. As always, we have these 45 to 60 minutes cool free coachings where we find out what's your bottleneck and how the ARC can support you. The ARC is this really, really cool community, that organizes bootcamps, retreats, parties, events across Europe. We support each other so hard. And yeah, if that's something you want to be part of, dare to call us. So yeah, with these words, also of course if you have any questions, you know how to reach us. And yeah, big hug. We hope you had fun watching this video. Bye bye.